Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental A-Team Podcast. Hello, Dental A-Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, I'm so excited for today's topic. You guys know how much I love to celebrate. If you don't know that about me, well, guess what? Surprise! I love to celebrate. I look for reasons to celebrate. I love to celebrate our team members when they've been with us for a long time every year. I love to celebrate them on their birthdays. I love to celebrate anniversaries. It's about my husband and I, 12 years together. That's fun to celebrate. I love to celebrate our first date anniversary. And today we are going to be celebrating Dental A-Team Podcast 3rd birthday. That's right, guys. 3 years in the making. This podcast has been going on. I am so excited. Dental A-Team is turning 3 years old, our podcast today. And the podcast really started out, if you guys want to know, I had this crazy idea to start a podcast. I thought, everybody focuses on the doctor. Nobody focuses on the team. And then I realized, well, the doctor is the team. And if they all work together in tandem, we're probably all going to be able to make a lot more movement. So why don't we have a doctor and a team member's perspective on this podcast? And that way we can rise both together. That's really what Dental A-Team has formed into. Going into your guys' practices and getting the doctor and the team members aligned. So it works easy. Getting everybody in their zone of influence. So yes, we work with dentists and we work with teams. Hello, DAT. Dentists and teams. It also stands for Dental A-Team. But isn't that witty? DAT, dentists and teams. The Dental A-Team is all about dentists and teams. So my husband and I, we went down to Yosemite. My husband said, hey, Kiera, this weekend, I think it'd be really fun for us to just do a weekend getaway. Yosemite is about 4 hours from Reno. One of the perks of living in Reno. I'm not crazy about Reno, guys. Everybody who knows me knows this. I'm starting to find more joy. I think we should all bloom where we are planted. But my husband and I decided to go down there. Well, in true Kiera fashion, I decided, well, hey, I'm actually going to ramp up this weekend. Instead of just going to Yosemite and having this nice, relaxing weekend with my husband, what do I decide to do? Well, I read up and I found out that you could get Half Dome tickets. If you guys don't know what Half Dome is, it's on a lot of just MacBooks. It's that really cool mountain. Do yourself a favor and Google it if you don't know what Half Dome is in Yosemite. It's one of the most famous hikes, and it's really hard to get permits for it. So I had read up, this was pre-COVID, I had read up and found that you could actually go and get camping permits, and you didn't actually have to camp. So my husband and I literally had planned. Our plan was drive to Yosemite, spend the day there, drive home. That was it. Well, I said, Jace, let's just go stand in line and see if we could just get these camping permits. This is how I always work. I get you guys by just luring you in like a frog in boiling water. I don't put you in the boiling water. I just see how this is going to work out. So I stand in line, and sure enough, it's freezing cold. I remember being in a full-on parka. There was snow. It was freezing cold. And I was sitting there, and lo and behold, Kiera Dent scores tickets to do Half Dome the next day. We don't have a hotel. We don't have camping. We have nothing. Well, and I don't know if you guys know how Yosemite works, but if you don't book your camping or hotel or lodging, you don't have a place to stay. So that poses the next problem. Remember, my husband just wanted to do this nice, calm, chill, relaxing weekend, and I decide we are going to be hiking Half Dome. We did take some hiking gear. I did read up that Half Dome has chains on it, so I did pack some gloves as well. But that was really as far as we got. So we find a hotel. We have to drive an hour outside of Yosemite. There's one hotel room in this very, very swanky hotel. And my husband's like, Kiera, remember that time I just wanted this to be nice, chill. We go to Yosemite. We have a good time. And here you are turning it into hiking Half Dome. Well, we can all thank this little Kiera Dent over here if you love the Dental 18 podcast, because the next morning, my husband and I wake up, not only do we have to drive an hour, but we have to drive an hour back. You have to get there before sunrise. You have to start this hike very early. So we got very minimal sleep. I remember our hotel had somebody's medication and hair on one of the pillows in the room. It was literally the only hotel room, so we slept on the other bed and tried not to think about what else had happened in this hotel room. Got up super early in the morning. There was a dead deer in the middle of the road, and my husband was so tired. We're in our little tiny Honda Civic, and he does not see this deer in the middle of the road. And I'm like, you're going to hit that. We totally, in our 2010 Honda Civic, nailed the belly of this deer. I thought we destroyed our Civic. So I'm like, oh, not only do I have my husband going on Half Dome hike early in the morning, but we just hit a deer. I don't know. Those Honda Civics are a champ. Nothing happened to our Honda Civic, actually. Legitimately nothing, other than got a little bit of deer hide on our car. Keep driving. We get to Half Dome. It is freezing cold, and we start hiking. And on this hike, sometimes my best ideas come to me when I'm in nature. I'm a Taurus. I love nature. And while my husband and I were hiking, I really love hiking for this reason. I love hiking with friends. You guys, I am a guru for hiking. I do have a supai. I've done almost every single hike in Zion's, Bryce. I love to hike. That is a perk of Reno. And then while my husband and I were on this hike, I told him, I said, Jay, I think I'm going to start a podcast. And on that hike to Yosemite, not only is my body screaming at me because I didn't even prepare for this, we just wake up one day and decide to go, but my mind was on fire. And I was just thinking, if we could create a podcast that could elevate people, that could give them quick, tangible tips, that could rise the entire team together, that was fun, that was about life, it was about dentistry, it was growing you guys as people professionally and personally, that to me felt like it was a yes. And you guys, when I make a decision and I'm this certain on it, I don't look back. And that's how the Dental 18 podcast started. So we can all thank Half Dome Yosemite for the Dental 18 podcast if you enjoy it. And that was the reasoning behind it. It was really to give back. I realized that there was a need. There wasn't a lot out there for teams. And so that's how the Dental 18 started. So with that, if you guys are loving the podcast, do Dental 18 podcast a favor. As a birthday present to us, please leave us a review. Give us those 5 stars. It helps us help more offices and more people just like you. Have you guys heard? But really, have you heard? And are you the type of person that loves to take massive action? Well, if you are, I would love to invite you to Dental 18's virtual summit, April 22nd through 23rd. And yes, right now, guys, it's early bird. That means it's $200 off the normal ticket price. You guys are going to learn how to optimize your practice this year. We know it's been a rough year. People have quit. We've had COVID. We've had changes. So we want to teach you guys how to optimize within your practice now and execute. Friday is full team. Saturday is all things leadership. So bring your team, get some CE, take massive action. Head on over to thedentalateam.com. Coupon code is Summit Early Bird, and it's valid until March 31st. That's Summit Early Bird, all one word, and it's valid until March 31st. So guys, head on over. I can't wait to have you take massive action, optimize your practice, and execute. Let's make 2022 your best year. The goal of the Dental 18 podcast is to positively impact the world of dentistry in the greatest way possible. So guys, as a birthday present to Dental 18, I would love it if you could help us out, do that, and help us break our goal of clearing 1 million downloads this year. Yep, click the download. Just go download a bunch of them. Help us out. I would surely appreciate that. As always, I think today's topic, I always try to give you guys tangibles, some valuable, even though it's celebrating. And in the spirit of celebration, I think it's important to recognize the milestones that you have gone through. I think sometimes we don't realize how far we've come. So looking back, I remember Dental 18 was supposed to be released on, our podcast was supposed to be released on Valentine's Day. It was giving love to the dental community. And guess what? iTunes did not release the podcast on the day we wanted it to release. I had to sit there and wait. I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. And then guess what? We were able to get it to release. And it's been a magical journey. It has not been easy. I tell a lot of people, if you were ever to start a podcast, I would not take a page out of Kiera Dent's book. I would not podcast 3 days a week. However, we've set the standard, and I do love connecting with you guys. But I will tell you, there is a lot of work, love, sweat, tears. it's oftentimes car casting, which is what's going on today, for this podcast to come about. It's been training people. We had to come up with a whole process of how to even do the podcast. It's been getting the word out, giving you guys tangible tips. And so I really think it's important to celebrate those milestones and to celebrate how far you've come. To look back. I know when I started this, it does not look anything like what it is today. I did not think I would share my personal life with you. I did not think that I would have people meet me at events. It's super fun, by the way. I love meeting you guys. But you know me, and I don't really know you. You've heard my whole life. You've been a part of this journey with me. And so it's really fun to connect with people. It's fun to get to hear your stories. It's fun to have you become clients and to hear you say, Kiera, I was listening to the podcast and I heard this. This resonated with me. So for your teams and your practices, to take this back to you, I want you to look back. Think about the first day you opened doors. Do you celebrate that day? Is it a birthday for your practice? I literally love to get Jason, my husband, he's so cute. He gets me a birthday cake for Dental Team Podcast. And we have like party hats and streamers and whatnot. It's a good time for Dental Team Podcast birthday. I actually celebrate that more than even when Dental Team started, because Dental Team was kind of a funny start. We'll share that another day. But the podcast is a day that I love. So we celebrate it. And I'm curious, do you do that for your practice? Do you guys celebrate your team, celebrate the people that got you here? Do you remember the struggles and the funny times? Every single year I try to look back and think of the good times that have happened on the podcast. It's a celebration. Like, I think about the time that I was car casting through California to Nevada, and there's this thing called the agriculture inspection. And I remember having a microphone, and they just looked at me so weird. I remember the time I decided to do the first air cast. That was podcasting on an airplane with Ashley Dorn. And the flight attendant coming to me and saying, I actually can't hear you louder. And, well, it's because I'm podcasting. Just silly little things that have happened on the podcast. There was one time, thankfully, we've got good editors on our team. I legitimately burped on the podcast, and I was so embarrassed. I'm like, make sure you guys cut that out. It just happened. I was just podcasting, and off it went. But those are funny things that have happened. They're also really powerful things, like the day I did the podcast about it's okay to hate your job. If you didn't hear that podcast, go listen to it. Or the time that we get really awesome speakers on here. I love, love, love learning from people. Like we had Dental Claims was one of my favorite podcasts. If you didn't hear that one with dental claims support, it was great. Broke down how to do insurance. Our office autopsies, where I get to brag and share about office autopsies of the things they do super well and the things that they don't do as well. Also, just so you know, I usually mash up those office autopsies. So it's usually not just one practice, but I kind of mix them up so that way you can't really identify which practice it is. I like to keep people at least a little bit anonymous. But just to be able to brag and to share those office autopsies, I love to do that. Book clubs, super fun. So I would like you guys, with your practices, to celebrate. Find a reason to celebrate. I think that there are a lot of reasons to be angry in life, and we need more reasons to celebrate. So bring in that cake, bring in that confetti, pop the poppers with us. Celebrate your practice. Maybe it's not the first day you opened, but maybe it could be a monumental day. Maybe it's the first day you broke 100,000 a month. That's a fun day. Or what about the first time you brought in an associate? You could celebrate that day. Or what about people's anniversaries? Do you celebrate when they joined your team and make that a big deal? If not, I would suggest that you probably should. It's really fun to celebrate people. So in the spirit of Dental Team's third birthday, our podcast's third birthday, I would suggest that you guys really, truly find ways to celebrate. Look for it. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate the things that you've done. Celebrate the hard times. Celebrate the great times. Laugh at yourself. You guys, it was really funny when I did burp on the podcast. It was embarrassing and hilarious all at the same time. I'm not always polished and put together. I am a human being over here. And so make sure you guys celebrate. Take time to celebrate. Thank you for being a part of our Dental Team Podcast family. Guys, please go share a review, download these, share it with your friend. Help us hit our goal of positively impacting the world of dentistry in the greatest way possible. You guys, this podcast would not be worth it without you guys. You're the reason that we get up and we do this. You're the reason that we built this. So thank you for being here. And wherever you are in your journey, I'm celebrating you. Celebrating who you've been, who you're going to be, and who you're becoming. That is a magical journey. That's what we're here to be. I think when we look back on our lives, we're not actually going to care a lot about all the nitty-gritty of what we did. I think we're going to more look at who we became. So celebrating you. I'm cheersing on to you today. And with that, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time on the Dental 18 podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental 18 podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.